Here's a little poem I wrote. It's called My Story. See, I hadn't been through some things in my life. And as I look back, I start to wonder, why was I chose to live the life I live? See, I was raised by a man and a woman I consider my mom and dad. And even though they weren't, they gave me enough love to make sure it felt like they weren't. My real mom was busy working her ass off to make sure she had a roof over her head. So here I am with these two people who aren't related to me but gave me the most love. That life was short-lived. See, mama had diabetes and passed away. A year later, daddy was so depressed at her passing, he left me too. Before they had passed, sadly, I had to bury my 2-year-old niece. She died of a drowning. Before my mama and daddy had passed, I had moved in with my real mom, so I stopped visiting them. I can honestly say that was the biggest mistake of my life. They gave me the best years of my life, so I wasn't ready for a new start. Well, here I am living with my big brother and my mom, and I had always been a daddy's girl. Everything was going smooth until my dad went out and had himself another child. I guess he forgot too, because he sure forgot about me. I started looking up to my brother as my father figure, until he did the same. He went out and had himself another baby. Me and his girlfriend didn't get along, so I was cut out of their life. I thought to myself, am I selfish for wanting a dad in my life? I was already depressed. In my head, my niece was strike 1, my mom was strike 2, and my daddy was strike 3. I was on the edge, barely holding on for my life. All this happened and blew me out of the water. I wanted to ask God why, but I remember my mama used to tell me, never question God's ways. My real mom got worse into her drinking, quit working, and we lost our house. We moved with a family member out of town. Once again, her drinking got us into trouble, so we moved back. All these emotions, I had to make a choice. I could run away from my problems, or I could deal with them. Unfortunately, I chose to run away. Mentally, I was done. Physically, I was exhausted. I got into the streets. I started running the streets, abusing drugs and alcohol, fucked up in school, which I can honestly say was another big mistake in my life. It was all downhill from there. See, after being hurt so much in your life, I craved attention. I craved love. So I started letting these men get a hold of my emotions. Because I was so naive, I would actually believe it when they said they love me. But I realized these niggas don't love me. They love what I could give them. I gave up. After getting my heart broke, my only escape was running the streets. I was hooked. I was sick. Not the kind of sick where you're sitting there throwing up, but the kind of sick where I can't give it up. The way my lips felt when they touched that bottle, the way it went down so smooth. Suddenly I felt bigger than the world, and all my pain disappeared. It felt like it was meant to be. It felt like this was the life I was supposed to live. But how could I be so stupid? See, I witnessed my real mom in the hospital for almost a year, not knowing if she was going to make it, all because of the abuse of alcohol. Did I want to end up like that? So I tried to change my life. I wanted to get it back together. But here I am, not even grown, homeless, wondering where I'm going to lay my head at next. Instead of my biggest problem being what color prom dress I'm going to pick out. I've had days where I'm sick as a dog, coming straight out of the hospital, drugged up on meds, and having to sleep at a park, a block from my dad's house. Why? Like I said, he forgot he got 2 kids. I thought to myself, am I being selfish? Am I really being selfish for wanting to live a stress-free life? Am I being selfish for wanting to wake up in a bed with a family surrounding me? As the tears rolled down my face and the pain in my back from the bench I slept on the night before, I made my final decision. I can continue to live in pain. I can continue to hurt myself, or I can finally live for me. For the first time in my life, I chose me. I don't want to hurt no more. I refuse to hurt no more. I refuse to give my all to somebody and let them walk all over me. I refuse to run around with girls who pretend to be my friend and fuck me over in the end. So here I am today, a little heartless, yes, only because I've been stripped and drained from my emotions. Still dealing with bullshit to this day, but I'm stronger than ever. Because I believe every flower grows. And I believe if you have faith, God will make everything okay. God has a higher power for me. I know this because God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. It's my turn, and although I'm still waiting, I won't give up. So before you go and judge a book by its cover, remember there's 2 sides to every story. Just make sure you got time to listen to both.